It's about awaken your inner healer. My name's Helen Chin Lu. I am a certified reflexologist and also the owner, not only the Healing Place Energy School, but also the Healing Place in Medfield. So tonight's subject, we're talking about the power of gratitude. And my co-hostess, Robin Boynton, is going to join me in a minute, and we are going to have a personal view what we consider the power of our gratitude. Right, Robin? Mm-hmm. And anyways, I welcome you to come on to ask questions, to let us know what you think gratitude is about. And we would love to hear your side of the story. So that's that. If you want uh, to make changes in your life, it's all about living your gratitude. And there's a lot of things we're going to be discussing today. I'm just so excited. We have some new courses that we'll offer at the Healing Place Energy School. And Rob and I are going to be talking about how we are expanding what we are doing to help serve you. So stay on, hang on, and we'll be with you in a second. Hello, there's my co-hostess. I would say our Reiki mistress, Robin Bornstein.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Helen. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. And we were just catching up a minute ago about what we've been doing this week, and we started talking a little bit more about what we are grateful about, huh, Robin?
Yes. And was I being grateful? Mm.
I think it's so funny. We one of the things I wrote about a long time ago. I used to really love writing inspirations. I would get an inspiration, and all of a sudden I'd write a little poem. And I was saying to myself, what was once considered a miracle, the wishing and hoping, we were dreaming about that miracle. All of a sudden, one day we received a gift, and that miracle now has become mundane, part of everyday life, and we just don't think about it anymore. And I'm thinking, gratitude, how do we define gratitude and how do you live it so you can manifest the life that you want? So,
And
Robin,
how do you manifest the life that you want, Helen? I know how hard you work. So you've been manifesting and working hard.
well, even though working hard also means there's what do you call it, that feeling of resentment when you just don't have enough time. And
Mhm.
instead of being grateful of what I built, we become resentful of the gift.
Mm.
And one of the things I have to catch myself before I go into that darkness of bitching and moaning about what I have manifested in my life, I'm actually turning the gratefulness into ugliness.
Exactly. Which I think we're all capable of doing. We all forget what we wished and hoped for. And then once you get it, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe this isn't so great after all. So you have to be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, but I also believe, like one of the discussions I had with my son this evening, and all the things that he has gone through in his life, and all of a sudden now in his mid 30s, he's starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. No pun
Mm-hmm.
intended.
Mm-hmm.
And he really start, even though he's gone through so many heartache, he is starting to appreciate the hard lessons, hard lesson that I don't wish upon anyone.
Well, I think that once you can start reflecting upon the hard lessons and understanding what you've learned from those hard lessons, there's an appreciation. There's this feeling of I made it through. I did this, and what you've learned from those lessons, and how grateful you become for having those difficult times. Not that you would wish a difficult time on anyone, but we all have our moments in life when we have to go through difficult times. And unfortunately, you do learn from them, whether it's not that you want to learn from them because it's difficult, but you do learn, and you can teach, and you can help the next person, or you can share your wisdom with someone and maybe help someone, and that in itself, you can be grateful that you're able to give help to someone else. You can
Yes,
then turn
definitely.
your heartaches and your hardships and turn around and maybe help someone else, and that's a gift to be able to then help someone else.
That's very, and then, most people don't see their hardship as a gift. In fact,
Who
people,
would? Nobody. That's. I mean, it's when you're living through it. It's like
it's like hell.
it's hell. It's a storm. It's uncomfortable. It's miserable. It's sad. It's all of those things, and it's hard to appreciate it when
Oh,
you're going
yeah.
through it. But maybe 10, maybe 5, 10, 20, 30 years later, you may look
Well,
back and be like, "Wow, I survived."
yeah. And then looking back, and I always believe it all depends how quickly you learn the lesson. So if you are repeating the same damn lesson over and over again, this is where you start to use that power of gratitude and maybe, yes, thank the universe that your experiences this heartache, because it's going to help elevate your energy to that next part of your evolution.
Mhm. And giving back to that other person who you may, in your community or in your family, or however you meet people as we go through life, how you can then share with them and maybe give them a gift or a glimmer of light for their moments of grief or whatever they're going through. um,
Well, I think here you got to be careful too, Robin, because sometimes when you have, let's say, made it over the bridge to the next part of your lesson, you're ready to take that next step of lesson. Now, let's say you're in lesson 2,586 and you have mastered steps A to G. Now you're ready to start a step H of that same lesson. So it gets really hard to share with people depending on where they are in their evolution.
it's true, but I think sharing your story helps someone somewhere. Hopefully it does. I mean, we know, Helen, at our age, we know women who have been through so much, loss and heartache and joy and everything on this, and they share a lot. They put it out there, and it's inspiring to to watch them grow and to share their stories, don't you think?
Yes, and then and I think a lot of it has to do with, as you're listening to the story, to listen with an open mind and be careful you don't go into jealousy
Or judgment.
and judgment.
Yes.
Because there's people out there that says, I am envious of what you went through, but
Which
they
is
have
crazy because they could be the most horrible life situation,
exactly.
right?
And,
Yeah.
and it's very true. It's so hard to walk the steps of growth and also elevating to yourself to live your life purpose.
Hmm. And I think your life purpose can change. I think your life purpose can be changing continually.
Oh,
Yeah,
continuously.
yeah. I think some people try to find that one life purpose that they're here for, that
Oh,
they're
yeah.
in search of that one life purpose. But
Well,
you
it's
could
not
have
just
you could
that.
have 20 life purposes or 2,000 life purposes within one lifetime. Don't you think?
Yeah, it's
I
true.
think so. Yeah.
And then I'm always amazed at the people who actually fights their life purpose, because I have a sister-in-law who tells me, she really came out and said, I hate change. I don't like change. I rather live the same mundane life every day because I'm comfortable.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah,
That's what we call it.
I don't want to stretch. And I'm like, really? And I'm thinking to myself, I have no idea what's like to live in my comfort zone.
Same. And yeah, I like something different every day. I think it's fun to, as difficult as it can be to change and grow and have new situations or new issues arise, there's always something to learn. Always something to learn.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because one thing about gratitude lends itself into your next experience.
I agree. I agree. I agree. And think about it. I mean, we have a few people here. Well, Jeannie out of the bottle is here again tonight. Hi. Let's
Yeah.
see. She wrote, "You are right. It is hard to be grateful at first. Absolutely. And sharing is both good for the person who experienced and the one or the ones who are listening to the story. Yes. Yes, that's beautiful. And think about like gratefulness. I like how she wrote, "You are right. It is hard to be grateful at first." Think about the times in your life when you were miserable or you were, in a situation where you didn't think things were so great. And then, fast forward 5 years later, you look back and you're like, you know, that wasn't so bad. Or that job, I learned a lot from that job. And as miserable as I was there, maybe I learned a lot, or maybe it wasn't so bad in retrospect, so it's
No,
interesting. Yeah. So
I,
you become grateful.
I truly believe nothing is for nothing. Everything that you experience in your life will come to serve you in one way or another, even if it's good or it's ugly.
I agree.
Building resilience is not one of those skills for the light of heart.
Mm. And we all need resilience.
We all do
I
because
mean,
I see people even in my office who all of a sudden their life has crumbled, that they're in the process of divorce. And I'm thinking to myself, and I don't wish this on anyone, but there's something in you. Maybe I, as much as I do this work, I don't believe in happily ever after. Does that sound weird, Robin?
not to me. I don't believe in that either. I believe I don't believe in happily ever after. I mean, you can be happy, but I mean,
You
is
could
it
be happy.
happiness doesn't last? I mean, it's not an everyday thing. I mean, you can have a good week and then next week you have a shitty week. I mean, oops, excuse me.
Mute button.
It's a balance. You need to find the balance in the good and the bad, because we
Hmm.
all have good and we all have bad. We all have beautiful and then we all have ugly. I mean, it's
Yeah,
within us all. It's within us all, but it's all within our environment. And
and especially if you're dependent on other people to make you happy.
oh, we've talked about that in other episodes. I mean, happiness is an inside job. You can't expect anyone else to make you happy.
Oh yeah, and so as you start to be grateful for all that you are, this is where you look within yourself. And Jeannie says happiness depends on how external influence, which is constantly changing, and that's what people are doing. And this is something that I talk about in my book, Know Your Chakras. Oh, I'm so bad at getting my book.
Yeah, get your book out. By the way, people, Helen's book is awesome. So if you
Yeah,
haven't
it's here.
purchased it,
I
get
wish
it
I
on
could read.
the website.
I wish I could read which page is on. But when you get to the point where you're dependent on other people for your happiness, you're screwed. I'm sorry.
Oh, absolutely. That's when misery sets in.
And I mean, you could have the best family, you could do your very best to raise your kids. And then if they don't come out or they don't grow up to meet your expectations, what do you do?
You're
No,
disappointed. And who wants to live with disappointment? Right?
yeah, I know.
I mean, we could all have it if we want it. It's there and it's freely available.
It's true. And then how do you break that cycle? Well, one of the things that I just recently did, I created a video segment for Regis College. They have a nursing program that's including more holistic practices. So they're going to
I
combine traditional and holistic medicine in
I
one.
love that. That's
And
thank God they're finally,
they're finally
that's
starting to
happening.
recognize you need both. And the segment I made for them was on the mind body connection. And in fact, I love the course so much, the little mini segment, I actually created a 3-part course series, which I'm going to talk more about in another show. But the point is, everything you do, everything you say, everything you feel is connected, affects every component of your body. So instead of dwelling what you don't have, why not dwell on what you do have?
And be grateful for whatever it may be.
Exactly.
It may not be your dream or it may not be perfect, but it's okay.
Yeah, and that's it. Give you, I call it giving yourself grace. In other words, accept, what's that poem? I love that poem, the one that recognizes what you can change, what you can't change, and be okay with as it is. Because there's a lot of things we can't change. We just don't have the ability because we can't influence everyone and everything.
Yes, we don't have, we wish we all had a magic wand and we could go,
And we could use that genie. We could use that genie in the bottle.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, Genie, we could use your bottle. Hand it over. Just imagine if we could manufacture those bottles and sell them. So
Absolutely.
Alexa says,
Alexa Ray said, a lot of times I feel I'm happy alone. Then I attract people that come into my life and upset me so much.
well,
Well,
a lot.
well, I think that's a great lesson, Alexa.
Well,
Is
you know what? It also tells you, Alexa, you are ready for the next lesson. That's the reason why new people come into your life. Because if you have the same people, let's say loving people, which is wonderful, but you never grow from those experiences.
And Helen, what would you say? Like, let's give Alexa an example of, she says that then I attract people that come into my life and upset me so much. So when this happens to us all the time, it happens to me. I'm sure it happens to Helen. People come into your life and you have a difficult time meeting them energetically on the same vibration. You're just not communicating. That basically that's like you're not communicating well with someone
Oh,
and you
I have
get
a
upset.
friend.
So what is that lesson? What are we supposed to learn from that lesson?
Oh,
And I think it says a lot more. It can be a lot more about what's going on with us internally or how we're supposed to show up in that
it's a
situation.
reflection. It's a
Yes.
reflection of who we are internally. One of the things I love about working with my hand on hand, Rob and I share an office here in Medfield, Massachusetts, and the clients that I attract are rule keepers because they're really a reflection of my personality.
Me too.
Well, Robin is more like heart center people that she attracts. So they operate from the heart. So I attract the rule keepers and the enforcer energy. So a lot of it is teaching rule keepers that they have choices. Because one thing about rule keepers, they like to follow every rule exactly the same. So it's really hard to be adaptable. And so when I get a client that is not a rule keeper, or let's say I get a heart center person, someone that's really empathic to feel every nuance, and I'm like, okay, so she or he is teaching me how to connect to my heart. And it's a reminder to come back to my heart instead of being up here.
Mm-hmm.
So energetically, it's real important to combine the will and the emotions. So because I'm very linear, I got to come back to my heart.
Mm.
So
And
that's
I have learned being a heart-centered person and always coming from my heart, as wonderful as that is, and as beautiful as that can be and giving, it's not life sustaining. It's not healthy to be that constant giver. You really need to set boundaries and be more centered, grounded, in order to maintain your energy, in order to maintain and to be able to move forward with your hopes, dreams, and desires and wishes.
Mhm.
I mean, otherwise, if you're constantly coming from your heart, you never can get out of your own way. because you're
Right.
constantly giving and giving and helping and being and listening, and then where do you find time for yourself? You know,
Exactly.
and
And
it's yeah, go
I
ahead.
have to learn how not to be a hard ass. And I go, excuse me, think about your options here. You don't have to be so hard on yourself.
Yes. Like I used to be, and I used to be a heart-centered person who was pretty black and white. And then I grew up and I realized it's okay to be in the grays.
It's okay.
It's
And
okay.
so, as we come back to us, that's what it is. It's all about coming back home to you. In fact, this is what the meditation that Robin is going to do for us next is the meditation. But before we jump into meditation, let me just share a news that I didn't even tell you this, Robin. I'm doing another live presentation tomorrow. So if people are out there want to join me in the premiere, we're going to talk about respiratory support with hand reflexology. And,
Oh,
and I'm going to watch the video with you. And then if people have questions about hand reflexology, I am going to give some tips on how to take care of your lungs. All
oh,
right.
well, now what time are you doing that? Because I
Se-
could just, what time?
7 p.m.
Oh, 7 p.m.
East,
tomorrow. Okay, because I
yeah,
was going to say
Eastern Standard Time.
I could share that with my group tomorrow, but
Oh, that'd
there,
be wonderful if you
but
could just invite people. This is
I'll invite people. I'll share it on my two Facebook pages. But I also it's late for the group that I work with during the day, so I don't know if they'd be, but yeah, that would be so helpful.
whoever.
I can replay it for them.
Yeah, you're so sweet. So, anyways, is everybody ready? Robin, ready to
Yes,
do a
yes,
loving meditation?
yes, I am. Let me just
That
lower
we could be
let me just lower
loving at the
the light
same.
so I can get into the mood here too. So
Um,
everyone who's here listening,
I'm going to do my Reiki, everybody.
okay,
And
and I
Gina,
also have to
you
let
are
everyone
right.
know who's listening. I do have my little dog who's here. She was alone for 4 hours today, and I'm home alone. So if you hear any barking, I apologize. But I think she's sleeping right now. My cute little old lady dog.
All right. I'm
So
gonna
everyone get
Yeah,
comfortable.
I'm gonna warm up my hot Reiki hands. You go ahead, Robin.
So get as comfortable as you can. So if you're sitting in a chair like I am, put your feet firmly on the floor and put your hands in your lap with your palms facing up. And if you're lying down, put your arms down by your side with your palms facing up. And I want you to get as comfortable as you possibly can. So adjust your clothing, adjust the light in your room, put your phone on do not disturb. If you have a cell phone, just make sure the volume's down so that you're not interrupted. And we're just going to do a nice, short 10-minute meditation, which is just healthy to sit with your breathing for 10 minutes. So as you're settling in and getting comfortable, pay attention to your breathing. Notice the rise and fall of your chest with each inhale and exhale. And give thanks to you for showing up for yourself today, for giving yourself this moment in time to just sit and to just be with yourself and with your breathing. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. Relax your shoulders. Relax your eye muscles. And again, inhale and exhale. And pay attention to the noises around you. Feel the temperature of the air on your body. And feel your energy. Notice the pulsations of your heart. Notice how your body is just supporting you. Feel the weight of your body. Just sink into the weight of your body. Feel it connecting to the earth. Now I want you to visualize a beautiful golden white orb coming down to the crown of your head. This is your personal energy field coming down and around your body. Feel it coming down, protecting you, holding you, healing you. Allow this beautiful light to come down all the way to the tips of your toes. Feel the energy at your feet. And just breathe that in, that beautiful vision of you being in this beautiful light. And begin to wiggle your toes, feeling the energy coming back up into your body, into your calves. And take another nice deep breath in and out. And remember, at any time during this meditation, you can breathe in a deep inhale and exhale. And begin to move your fingers and your shoulders. And just look up, open your eyes and look up at the ceiling. And then back to center. And then take your chin down to your chest. Give your neck a nice little stretch, if that's comfortable for you. And then back to center. And just give your shoulders a little roll back and a little roll forward. And then shrug up. Feel a nice stretch in your spine. And that's all you need to do to connect and feel some gratitude and being in your body.
Whoa. I didn't realize how tight my shoulders were.
Well, when you're, yeah, and as soon as you bring your mind and your attention to any part of your body, you can feel,
Yeah,
you can really feel it.
yeah. We'll have to do a show about, feeling your body. But you know what? I figured what we could talk about next Tuesday. Let's talk about living your wisdom.
Yes. And we all have wisdom.
We all have wisdom
We all
and
have something amazing
wisdom,
to share.
and not to be afraid to use your wisdom.
Why do you think, Helen, people become afraid to use their wisdom? What do you think stops or blocks people from wanting to
They
share?
don't want. They're afraid of being wrong.
Hmm.
They're afraid of being wrong and judged.
And I
And
don't think anyone can be wrong or judged because everyone has some special wisdom that they've learned that they can share.
well, we'll talk more about that next Tuesday about wisdom, just what we have accumulated on this journey. But anyways, thank you so much, Robin, and we'll see you next week. And in the meantime, um, I'll talk to you soon, Robin. Join me tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a premiere on respiratory support with hand reflexology. And I want to thank you so much for joining us. And it was a pleasure to serve you. I wish you well and be healthy and be safe. Bye bye.